All right, folks, good afternoon. Let's go ahead and get airborne with Accelerated Retirement coming in from beautiful Fort Lauderdale. Welcome aboard. We are almost at halftime with our full throttle, full week. Let me get a hell yeah if you're having a blast. From the Apple trades, the Goldman Sachs, a weekly bull put spread that the potential new members didn't get. That was for my current members only. The Brazil trade, a lot of good stuff going on. I sent out an alert a little while ago to leg into an Iron Condor on Apple, since it looks like we're having a little bit of a dead cat bounce. Great stuff going on, folks. And this is, if it feels like you're drinking from a fire hose, then I'm absolutely doing my job here, because that's what it should feel like right now. I'm opening up the doors to our squadron. Tonight, you're going to meet our vol arb trader, Doug Robertson. And he's going to give you a sample of the vertical spread training and the type of training you're going to get here at Top Gun Options. It is, thanks guys, good. A lot of folks, a lot of positive comments there. So I'm fired up about it. The biggest announcement I have right now is at the end of my Accelerated Retirement session today. It's one of the 4 portfolios I manage. This will be the last, well, no, this will be the 3rd portfolio you've seen from me this week. The last one will be on Friday with weekly options. Like I said, I sent out an alert yesterday to close the weekly options trade for anywhere from an $1,100 to $1,300 profit in one day. So very, very fired up. At the end of the Accelerated Retirement, I'm going to put the link out where you guys can get one of the 50 slots. As I said, there's over 6,000 people. The views on the replays are going through the roof. And last time I talked to support, they said about 14 or 15 of you have already contacted saying, hey, you know, where's the link or how do I buy? Not to be rude, we don't do the early stuff. We fire the starting gun at the end of Accelerated Retirement, and then we go until Friday. Even if we fill all of our slots by Friday, we'll still do the rest of the flight schedule as briefed. Okay, we did the welcome aboard Monday night, the PLTB yesterday morning, where I added Goldman Sachs and Apple positions. I did the urgent alert on Brazil, the Brazilian ETF. Think about it every day. Accelerated Retirement we're doing right now, and I'm going to open the slots, 50 slots at the end of this. 50 annual slots. Tonight, Doug Robertson, our vol arb trader, is going to give you vertical spread training, and that's a demo, right? And then tomorrow morning, he's going to do. At 9 a.m., he's going to knock out a advanced live trade brief, and he's going to do. He's also going to send out an ATA, an advanced trade alert, and then Friday, I'll knock out a weekly options brief. I'll talk about what weekly options are. Very, very tactical trades, folks, and then also we'll knock out a debrief about the week. Doug and I will answer any questions that you had about any of the trades, any of the issues throughout the week, and also obviously I'll update how many slots we have left. Usually, if history's a guide, which it always is, some of you go right out of the gate and get it right now, your slot, and some of you wait until Friday. And historically, a lot of you don't get it, and you have to wait until the next full throttle, the next quarter or whatever it is. Sometimes we don't have happy people, but that's why we do 50. We keep things nice and tight. Folks, this is, at the end of the day, trading is a form of combat. There's a winner and there's a loser, and I plan on being on the right side of that trade here at Top Gun Options. And you're going to be saying that. Hopefully, a lot of you are already saying that. And by the end of the week, you're definitely going to know that we treat everything that we do here as a form of combat. You guys know me by now. I'm Wiz. If you don't know me by now, that means you haven't gone to the replay page. If this might be your first webinar, I know some of my partners are still emailing and promoting for this. So here's the replay page where you can watch the rest of or the sessions that we already covered, okay? So go to topgunoptions.com/FT replay. That's where you can go to watch the replays from my urgent alert yesterday, the primary live trade brief, and also the Monday night in brief, okay? So yes, everything's recorded. This Accelerated Retirement brief will be put up on this page shortly as well. So that is where you need to go for that. But you guys know me. You know my background, Hornet Guy. Ran a trading firm up in Chicago, $2.5 billion vol arb firm. Also ran the Options News Network, ONN.TV. And, yep, sorry about that. Yep, that screen was frozen for a second. Here's the replay page, guys. Sorry about that. Screen was frozen. That's a switchology error on my part. But yeah, go to the chat box down there, and you can see the link right here. So my apologies there. Yeah, you guys should see it right now. Good. Okay, that's all I showed you was that page. Showed you my bio slide real quick, and then Peak 6, okay? Options News Network, and then decided to move down to beautiful South Florida down here, where I'm the squadron commander of a pretty cool squadron. We already reviewed all this stuff. Our performance year to date, I already showed you our SOT, our strategic, operational, and tactical methodologies, really resulting in the mindset that trading is a form of combat. We covered the acronym, Not Fear 2017, and I almost don't even want to talk about what happened in Washington this morning. You got Kathy Griffin a couple weeks ago holding up the severed head of the president. You have Shakespeare in the Park assassinating the president, and then you got a guy walking out on the baseball field today going, hey, are these Republicans or Democrats? Oh, they're Republicans, and blasting away with an AK-47. Huge Rachel Maddow fan, hates Republicans, evil people, and he's blasting away, folks. This is awful. Thankfully, the market's really not rolling over or paying attention. It's just, I saw that, Mike. He's a Bernie Sanders volunteer. So the left, the tolerant left, is really showing their true colors when they lose something. They're very, very tolerant unless you don't agree with them, and then they're pretty damn intolerant, aren't they? We covered throughout, every time I placed a new trade this week, what did I do? I went through my 7-step trade plan, all the way from having what my strategic mindset is, which currently right now is cautiously bullish, all the way down to step 7. Hey, when are we going to get out of this trade for max profit or get out of it for min loss, okay? Also, the PDF, the trade plan PDF is right over here on the right-hand side, and you can go ahead and download that and take that as one of your takeaways as well. It's going to have a good session today, folks. Remember, at the end of the day, we don't want to be this guy, but if we are going to have a bad day, whether it's in trading or in life, hopefully we already thought through what we're going to do before something gets bad, so we're ready for it and don't freak the hell out when it does. Okay, so real quick overview. I want to get into our accelerated retirement brief. Again, I've opened up the doors to our squadron, so you're joining hundreds of my regular accelerated retirement members Wednesday every afternoon from 1 until 2. AR is it's a shorter session than the primary live trade brief. The trades are a little bit more conservative. We trade the front months, we hedge, and we also obviously trade a little bit further out in time. Have a lot of Jan 19 trades on. So with that, let's go ahead and do just like I do every live trade brief, folks. SOT, strategic, operational, and tactical. Let me give you a quick strategic brief. This is, well, you know, I guess we start off a little operational talking about here in the United States, but this is just awful, folks. Arthur, it downloaded fine for me. We can. You should have gotten a copy of the bigger trade plan when you opted into the webinar, but I haven't heard. Anybody else having problems downloading that PDF? I clicked on it and downloaded it right away, so it might be on your end, Arthur. But folks, look at this. The left-wing nut jobs, just like their right-wing nut jobs, are all over the Twitter sphere celebrating that Representative Scalise got shot. This is the discourse that we're looking at. Anybody see? I sent out my urgent alert late yesterday because I literally had the popcorn going and I was watching Attorney General Sessions brief. What a charade, man! In 7 months of investigation, there's not one shred of evidence of collusion or anything. As a matter of fact, Comey, who we now know ain't no Boy Scout, he's a dyed-in-the-wool politician, said the president, the only thing that didn't leak out this whole time is the fact that the president is not under investigation. So a day after an honorable man like Attorney General Sessions gets grilled, you got this type of stuff going on, folks. It is getting ugly out, and you know we're bordering on civil war here, folks. It's absolutely awful. I'm speechless. It's disgusting, and the left better get their stuff together. Or it's funny, hey lefties out there, you're the party of snowflakes, trigger warning, and safe spaces. I'm the party of a Second Amendment, and I'll leave it at that. Don't come to a battle of wits unarmed here. All right, guys. But strategically, around the world, we have Dennis Rodman essentially over North Korea conducting foreign policy. That's great. That student. Hey, when you're a college student, I felt bad for that kid's parents. Where were they when they said, "Hey, I'm going to go take spring break or a college vacation in North Korea"? Rule number 1. Don't vacation in North Korea. I mean, it really is a self-cleaning oven sometimes, stupidity, guys. But you know, I'm glad the kid's released. He's in a coma. Apparently he's been in a coma for a year because he contracted botulism or something. It's awful. But Dennis Rodman's over there conducting foreign policy, which we should all be safe. On the world stage, we get some China industrial production numbers. I think tomorrow we'll see how our FXI positions, our China positions are doing. But the world is kind of a little bit quiet, which is weird after terrorist attacks and bottle rockets out of North Korea. So there's an uneasy calm right now. And again, volatility after the tech sell-off on Friday and continued on Monday. Now volatility's crushed and we're back down below our resting heart rate. Go figure. But the macro data, folks, the biggest thing on our radar in a little bit is going to be the Fed. So we got a Fed meeting today, and I'll talk about it in a second. But retail sales tumbled the most since January of 2016. Gas, electronics, and sales slump. Okay, so we're that's not a good thing. You know, unemployment is weak, and again, I don't begrudge bartenders, busboys, you know, waiters, waitresses, hotel staff. I've done a couple of those jobs in my life, but they're not jobs from Cupertino, right? They're not high-tech jobs. They're not manufacturing. So the Fed is walking a tightrope here because, yeah, they want to. They're responsible for monetary policy. They have an eye on the employment picture, but they also have what? One eye on the market. We talked about this yesterday, where the Fed's trying to keep a lid on what? On this. The Fed's not dumb. Janet, a couple press conferences ago, talked about equities being overvalued or biotech. My Skype and my phone lit up because we're all laughing. We're like, when the hell did she become an equities hedge fund manager? So the Fed is watching this market go up and up and up. And what are they trying to do? Let people wake up and say, hey, we're ratcheting up interest rates. And you guys know my wizisms by now. When interest rates are high, stocks will die. When interest rates are low, stocks will grow. And one of the main exception to that little wizism is what? Financials. That's why I took a look at Goldman Sachs yesterday, and it's time to bottom feed on the financials because they're going to get airborne here. But the Fed, they're raising interest rates really isn't having I think they're just going to do 25 bips. It would be shocking if they did 50. And it would be shocking if they didn't do anything. I think if they didn't raise anything today, the market would go, oh my God, it must be worse than the Fed's telling us. And I think, you know, we'd be down 300 points if she doesn't raise rates. She's going to do it. We talked yesterday about how that Wall Street's once again starting to smile at the fact that Steve Mnuchin, Trump, and his administration are starting to do what? Starting to take an axe to Franken-Dodd, maybe adjusting the Volcker rule and letting these banks get back to pre-2008-ish mentalities. No more taking a subprime mortgage and chopping it up into really good and really bad subprime. I think we learned our lesson there. But easing the handcuffs a little bit off of the financial institutions so that they can start lending money. Now, there's a concept. You want to get this economy going, folks? Remember, the Fed pays an interest rate for banks to sit on reserves. You want to free up, you want to really get this economy going? Stop paying these guys an interest rate to sit on it. Bankers would push their own mother out of the way to pick up a buck. So if you, check this out, actually start charging banks if they don't lend. Well, I'll save that for my when I run for president, but think about that for a little bit, okay? So Fed today, that's a big one. Apple, we talked about. The lack of vol in this market is crazy. When vol's cheap, you buy it. When it's expensive, you sell it. This is stupid, ridiculous, cheap. We talked yesterday about traders are buying the most downside NASDAQ protection since Lehman. That was yesterday. Today, you know, when I look out this window and Hurricane Matthews was coming last October, Hurricane Me, it was a little too late to buy hurricane insurance. Thank God I already had it on. You buy hurricane insurance, you buy vol when everything seems to be great. If you look at the VIX right now, it's essentially pricing in a move of nothing in the next, 30 days. If you guys don't think that there's something that's going to happen to freak this market the hell out in the next 30 days, I have a bridge to sell you in Brooklyn. So take a look at the VIX today. We're back again below our resting heart rate, okay? Hold on a second. Let me get rid of all these drawings. So, yep. So here you go. Now we're back around this 10 resting heart rate, and it's a joke. So I'm looking at a couple trades today for AR. I'd love to get long volatility again. Maybe I know some of you in the other service put on that urgent alert, or I think it was the urgent alert. Yeah, with the VXX bullish double vertical. So Hans, I already sent out an alert. Yep, that I closed the bull put spread. I sent out the alert to close that for about $1,100 to $1,300 profit. That is weekly options. And again, guys, I don't like, having different portfolios up at the same time. When we're in one service, when I have time at the end of that brief, we can drift into other services. But there's a lot of people in this room that are just in accelerated retirement and not any of my other services. So I'm not. Let's stay on point here. So let me bring up the accelerated retirement model portfolio, and there it is, folks. There's our year-to-date performance, blowing the doors off of it with Facebook. AIG kind of sucks. Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley. There's your gold, silver, and bronze medalist. AIG is kind of, fourth place is the first runner-up, right? So it is, it's not that good. Lucas, the link for the replays is in the chat box, okay? So here are the current positions in the accelerated retirement model portfolio. We have a Jan 18 Apple trade that's up $4,500. And we have a Jan 19 Apple trade that just got airborne. That's up about $1,300. This is a yes. I covered this yesterday in the PLTB. I would add a Jan 19. Take a look at this one though. This is the crowning jewel. Well, one of the crowning jewels in the accelerated retirement portfolio. Look at the year-to-date market gain in our Facebook trades. Jan 18 trade up 14 grand. Another Jan 18 trade up $7,800. And look at this one. This is a Jan 19. This expires a year after the other ones. And it's almost passing the Jan 18 trade. This is the newest trade on Facebook. It's up nearly 11 grand. Love Facebook. Very, very long-term. But look at that. Look at that 2-year chart, man. You cannot. The trend is your friend. Now, obviously, Facebook recently, I'm not a big Zuckerberg guy or whatever the hell his name is. He's a liberal. He's one of those limousine liberals that, oh, Trump's wall is just, it's racist and ridiculous. And then he buys half an island in Hawaii and puts a massive wall around it until people protest that he's a hypocrite, and then he took it down, and then he put it back up. So where did you update the full throttle trade in EWZ text alert? David, it's on the urgent alert page. Guys, if it ain't a trade in accelerated retirement, let's backbench it, okay? But here's the implosion on tech on Friday. Here's the bounce. It's getting more of a dead cat bounce than Apple. I told you guys yesterday, there's a gap down, right here. Whoops, sorry. If the stock regains half the gap down, it's extremely bullish. If it doesn't, if it doesn't, let me show you Apple. Watch this. Check this out. You ready? This is why I sent out about an hour ago. So there's the gap down. Here's half the gap. Kind of just this. Facebook and this look exactly alike. What happened in this one? Didn't even come close to regaining the half the gap down, did it? So this is why Wiz said, bear call spread time. I'm going to reduce my risk and add a bear call spread and leg into an iron condor. But different portfolio. You ready for this? Very, very bullish technically for Facebook. And, a lot of firms came out Friday and Monday as the tech implosion, as the tech wreck, as Comedy Central called it, CNBC happened. And then now it's like it never happened. They've already moved on to 50 other things. So again, the financial media only care when they care. So, right now they don't care about the tech wreck because it's over. So very, very bullish on Facebook here, guys. This is a great entry point right here. We might look at a short-term bull put spread as one of our new trades. I'll get that in a second. But yeah, I love Facebook. Very, very bullish. Implode, hits half the gap down, bullish. That's not meant, folks, I didn't make that up. I learned that, 25 years ago. I learned that on Wall Street. So this is a great technical indicator. Once it hits this, it's mentally bullish, and it is with a lot of algorithmic trading. So we'll take a look at a potential bull put spread right there. And that's what we do, guys. Like I said yesterday, if I have a Jan 19 trade on that's up, 11 grand, why am I not trading the front months with the same thing? Especially if it starts going down a little bit. Apple, I got the Jan 19 on. It's kind of flat right now, Wiz. Great. Let's make some money by trading the front month. It's a great tactic to employ. Okay? Vin, Apple, you said bear call spread. I did, but you put on a bull put spread yesterday. Vin, you didn't listen to me, my friend. I put on a bull put spread yesterday, and then I said an hour ago I sent out a bear call spread. It's exactly. You're right. I did say both those things. I'm not sure, Vin, what the confusion is. That makes it an iron condor right now. Different portfolio, guys. I'm also long FXI in this portfolio. This trades up about $1,200. That's the Jan 18, and the Jan 19 is already catching up to the other one at about $3 grand. So that's nice. Here's another crowning jewel in this portfolio. Look at Well, JP Morgan, it's up 17 grand in about, I think that's about 10 months. Love this JP Morgan trade. This one's a Jan 19. It's still getting airborne. I got into this before the financials. There was sector rotation out of the financials into financials and vice versa, but I'm not worried about these at all. This one will close unless, knock on wood, JP Morgan implodes, like a Lehman Brothers or Bear Stearns. That ain't going to happen. So yes to a JP Morgan. And remember, guys, this week, when you get your full throttle slot, this time next week, I'm going to do, since I don't have to do all this marketing crap that I hate in PowerPoint slides, we get right to it. I'm going to go through each trade individually and say yes, no, maybe, hold, or I'm actually going to use a term called Captain Kirk, a Captain Kirk trade. For example, Brazil or Russia in this case. Russia is a Captain Kirk trade for me. What's that mean? You guys have heard the Star Trek saying, boldly go where no man has gone before. So a Captain Kirk trade I'm going there, but again, I can't fly and fight in an airplane. You have to do it for you, okay? Also have a bull put spread on that expires next Friday. Look at this one. This is the 24.15, 24.20. It's up about $675. I still like this. Is a very, very good trade. This trade has a, look at this, 76% probability, 77, of making $2 grand by next Friday. So 3 out of 4 times this trade makes $2 grand. So that's a good looking bull put spread. Ignore this one, the XLF. Hans, it was sent. I got it. I sent it via email and I sent it via text alert. I got it, Hans. I'm a customer in here, so it's on your end then. Vinny Testaverde, exactly. It's a Hail Mary trade. Guys, ignore the XLF. I would not go financial sector ETF. I would go a Goldman or a JP Morgan or a Morgan Stanley. You guys know how you feel about them. It's Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley, okay? So guys, again, this, I think year to date, the urgent alert and weekly options portfolio is up higher than this one, but this is in second place out of my 4 portfolios I manage. And look, I'm not fully deployed in my capital, guys. I still have a little cash sitting there. So really like the performance of the accelerated retirement portfolio year to date. Okay, so that was a quick overview of the positions. Let's take a look at a new trade, and hopefully we'll get 2 of these new trades on. Let me say volatility towards the end because I like having a longer discussion on that. I mean, hell, this might shock some of you who are my members. I might be getting short volatility. Okay, just like this article in the journal said. Where is it? The snowballing power of the VIX. Being short vol this year has been printing money. Now, the 3 times that we've seen a market freak out, sell the State of the Union, sell the Republican clown car with Obamacare repeal, and sell the Comey memo. Look at everything else, though. Up, 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 really up. So being long vol, we've had a couple really good trades. I've timed these, we had a really good vol trade around the Obamacare repeal, right? We got long vol because it was uncertainty. All the way up, remember all the way up until the vote? I mean, like an hour before the vote, they pulled it. That's when the president said, Ryan, don't put it on the floor. If we're going to lose, I don't want to be embarrassed. We got long vol going into that, man, because I leave it to the Republicans to screw up, to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. And then, of course, I didn't know about the Comey memo, but remember what happened? Comey memo week? It was a Tuesday. Some people were like, Wiz, this trade's losing a little money. It expires Friday. I'm like, I'm not touching it. That's why you have a volatility hedge on. Thursday afternoon, it was up $4 grand. It went from being down a couple grand to being up 4. But I might actually get short vol here in a little bit, which might shock some of you. Why? We haven't really, I heard, and this was a media report. I talked to, my buddies up in the rings and stuff like that. Let's just say that, that allegedly, or maybe the president gave China 100 days. When he was down here in Mar-a-Lago, he said, Mr. President, you got 100 days to rein in your little cousin there. If you don't, I'm going to do it. So we're kind of getting close to the end of those 100 days. And if that guy can't rein in North Korea, that might be one of those unknown unknowns, that Rumsfeld, that inner Rumsfeld that we channel that might reach out and hit us. So, all right. But let's start back with Facebook because I just like this so much from a technical level, and I just think Facebook, don't like the politics of the guy. This is a hold your nose trade for me. Facebook, they really still haven't even monetized Instagram, folks. Now, I'm not going to give you my mindset for a Jan 19 trade here. Oops, wrong portfolio. There you go. That's why I don't have multiple portfolios up, Wiz. But Facebook, look at these long-term trades, guys. Yeah, it's 70 year-to-date market gains. Look at these: 71, 89, 50. Those are, and the average returns of my Facebook trades year-to-date is 67%. So I don't have time to show you the Jan 19 Facebook trade, but here's a little hint. Take the same process, the same tactic I did yesterday with Apple, copy, paste. Okay? So let's do this. Gerald, do you stick to primary long call diagonals and synthetic stock in this portfolio? Now, for the longer term trades, obviously, but here's an example of a front month trade, this bull put spread on the SPX, and now I'm going to give you a front month trade on Facebook, another bull put spread. So it's a mixture of stuff. So good question. But yeah, the accelerated retirement portfolio, as you could probably guess, is geared, towards a little bit more trading down range in distance. But you have to, like I'll say until I'm blue in the face, if I have a long-term strategic opinion of Facebook, I definitely have a short-term one. So pull out your trade plan. Here we go. Strategic mindset. It hasn't changed since I met you all Monday night, and it's not going to change until events overcome it. I'm cautiously bullish. That's why I hope, based on time, we can get a VXX maybe hedge on, or a bearish trade. We'll see. Step 2, identify the target. It's sitting right there, Facebook. Step 3 are commit criteria. I think I gave them to you all already, but let me hit you right between the eyes with it. After the tech wreck on Friday, with a little bit of follow through on Monday, Facebook gapped down. As it gapped down, it returned this week, and it recovered half the gap and more. This is a very, very short-term bearish, didn't have my afternoon coffee, bullish signal for Facebook, and I'm looking to capitalize on the short-term momentum with a bull put spread right around the 150, 149 level right here where it bottomed out. Boom. There are your commit criteria. Now, let's get to the tactic. Step 4, the tactic is a bull put spread. I'm going to go out to June 30th. Why did I do that? Next Friday's too tactical. I want to give this trade a little bit more time to work. Not going out a month. Folks, when Bernanke was the Fed chief, I used to go out a month. We used to trade, for those of you who were, a lot of you were here back then 3 years ago, we'd go out, we'd do bull put spreads a month out. Now you could still, but ladies and gentlemen, in a tweet, in a Rodman appearance, in the blink of an eye, this market can roll over. Remember, always go up to step 1. What's my strategic mindset? And let me put cautiously in bold and italics. Cautiously bullish. Big C, little b. So we got to be ready for this thing to roll over. So let's build the 150, 149 bull put spread together. I just click on vertical on my trade options house, E-Trade, whoever the hell they are today. And let's start building this. We might even go a little bit more conservative. Let me just do this real quick. I did this about an hour ago when it was priced differently. So let me just check out our risk real quick, and I'll get back to you. Always, I do these before the webinar, and then, of course, the pricing changes as we get bam. We might get a little bit more conservative, though. Let me do the 149, 148, and I'll obviously need to do less contracts, but it's a little bit more conservative. Actually, no, never mind. Stop mumbling. All right, here we go, guys. Tactical employment. Step 5. How am I going to employ this bull put spread? Rebecca's already asking for the link. Guys, let me get to the end of the accelerated retirement brief. Trust me. The slots usually go, if everybody's motivated, by Thursday-ish after you meet Doug, or tonight, and then definitely most of them go by Friday. So Rebecca, let me focus here, guys. I don't want to ignore all your great questions and people who want to get your membership, but you will have ample time to grab your slot before we close the doors on Friday. So I appreciate that, Rebecca. Just stand by one. Facebook 614. Okay, so here's what I'm doing, guys. The tactical employment, step 5. I'm going to sell 75 All right, Wiz, where'd you get 75 from? Give me about 2 minutes. Of the June 30th, I already explained why. 149 puts, I already explained why. So now you see that this trade plan just flows, man. It worked over Iraq, and it worked at the intersection of Jackson and LaSalle in the board of trade. As a hedge, Wiz, you're wrong. It was a dead cat bounce and went up through that 150 half the implosion, and now it's rolling over again. Well, I'm an idiot, but guess what? If it does implode, I'm buying 75 of the 148 puts. This trade, as many of you know, is called a bull. I'm bullish. Put, I'm using puts, and it's a spread. Dun, 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 dun. It's also called a what? A credit spread, because I'm taking in a little bit of scratch to do it. It's also called a vertical spread because of that. I don't use those last two names, folks. I use the direction and the instrument. Bull, put, spread. And obviously it's a credit spread. So I just grabbed a screenshot of it because I'm going to put it on my member page, and I'll give access to the Full Throttle folks as well. I'm going to click on create order, and I go mid-market. You never want to pay too much or too little, I guess, for this muffler, right? The Meineke muffler commercial. So mid-market. And now, even if you're brand new to Top Gun Options, you've known, if you've seen the last couple webinars with me, before I click on this button, I'm going to beat this into your head like a Catholic nun with a ruler on your knuckles. Do not look at anywhere other than the sad face, sounds like a Catholic nun, when I click Analyze. 3, 2, 1, sad face says what? Max potential loss in this trade is $5,600. That's plus or minus. That's within the slop of my SOP. My standard operating procedure says, hey man, I don't want to risk more than 5% of the model portfolio. You ready for the political science knuckle dragging math? $100,000 model portfolio, 5%. If you can't do that math, please don't click on the link to get a membership. But that's right, that's in the wheelhouse for me. Why do we do that, guys? Because my members in here know not to do it. 90% of you, if I didn't force you to look at the sad face, would have went right to here and said, $2,000, almost $2,000 in 2 weeks, done, sign me up. And then 3 days later, potentially, if this trade gets shot out of the air in the blink of an eye and you go, holy crap, I lost $5,600. Yeah, you did. And if you didn't know that was the risk, you deserve to lose every penny of it. Enough. I'm going to train you folks. It's discipline, it's risk management. That's how you get that superior execution. That's our motto, man. So now I can go, you know what? That's going to suck if that happens. I'm going to put an adjust level and an eject level in my trade because I don't want to lose that $5,600. If I'm starting to see this, Facebook start to implode, I'm going to scratch my chin and go, wait, should I update this trade and roll it or do something to it? So the only time I really will say, you know what, it sucks I lost that much, is that random missile out of the blue. Tomorrow morning, if we get filled on this trade. Breaking news, what's her name, Sheryl Sandberg? Who's the CFO for Facebook? Miss Sandberg's on a G6 jet to the Caymans with every nickel in Facebook in a suitcase, and the stock implodes. That's when you go, that sucks, but that doesn't happen that often, folks. It does happen. I told you Monday night about the my weekly options trade a couple years ago with Google changing its name to Alphabet after hours. That's just a missile I couldn't see, man. It doesn't make the pain any less, but I just shake it and I dust myself off, okay? So now I can look at Mr. Happy and go, all right, there's a 70% probability of making a full $1,900 in a little over 2 weeks. I like this trade. And now we can look at Mr. I'm all right, I broke even. There's a 71% probability of at least breaking even. Okay, there's the expiration, there's no earnings to worry about, no dividend. So all the stuff that might reach out and touch us, we looked at. Now, a quick review of the Greeks. And again, you'll get this in your Full Throttle training with Doug. He'll talk about the Greeks tonight. If you love all that stuff, you'll meet our resident booger eater tonight, man. The guy's an egghead, loves it. This is the Greek I care about, Theta. Right down the street from, I'm on the beach here in down in Lauderdale, is a Ferrari dealership, right? When you peel out of that parking lot with your midlife crisis, you immediately, that $250,000 Ferrari turns into about a $190,000 Ferrari, doesn't it? That's called Theta. That's time decay. The Ferrari dealership near my Starbucks doesn't look like it does because it gives those cars away, folks. You want to be the house. You want to be the seller of things. I told you yesterday, the Venetian, you know, the Mandalay Bay, the Trump Tower doesn't look the way it looks in Vegas because it gives away money. Okay? So, yeah, I called Doug that to his face, so don't worry about it. So look at theta. And if you don't speak Greek, folks, what do you speak? English? Time decay. Theta means time decay, folks, and it likes time passing at $35 per day. So look at this. Let's go back to Greek. I speak a Greek. That was Italian. So look at this. And I said this, and write this down on your notes from the week. Unched on the day equals time decay. If Facebook just kind of wallows around today, flat, if it's unchanged, we get time decay. So your buddy at the cocktail party who said, I bought some Facebook shares and love Facebook, you could have the same commit criteria as somebody who buys Facebook money and the stock not go anywhere, but your commit criteria and your tactical employment allows you to make money as they sit there with their shares going, well, this ain't going anywhere. And you can sit there mystified at the cocktail party and say, I made money today even though Facebook didn't move. And they'll call you a witch and burn you at the stake. But anyway, so let me grab a screenshot of this because, again, I'm going to send this out to my members. Now, accelerated retirement does not have immediate in-session alerts. Why? Because these trades just aren't super, super timely, and they can wait for 15 minutes after I do the webinar. So, but let's talk through some adjust and eject levels. There you go. There's a penny in the middle there. And it actually reduced my risk and went up to nearly $2,000. Let me grab a new screenshot. So I'm going to try and get filled, guys, 26 cents. And let me give you the range, plus or minus 3 cents. What does that mean? Whoops. That means that I'd be willing to go down to a credit of 23 cents or up to a credit of 29 cents. That's the range I'm going to try and get filled on for today. Important safety word, guys. Did you hear me? I said today, like Neil Diamond, today. So if I don't get filled on this trade today and I don't send out another alert that says, hey, I'm going to try again on Facebook, I am not trying to get filled. If it goes outside my range, guys, I do not try and get filled. Okay? Oh, Kevin, good. You got your book? Yeah, all my lifetime members who I think the 9th, or actually we did get a 20th, 20 lifetime members, I autographed a book for you. Kevin, let me know. Do me a favor, read it and red team it and let me know what you think about it, because I think the publisher, my next project is to re-update it with new business examples, fresher business examples, because it's a clown car out there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so so this trade, remember, ladies and gentlemen, I want all 26 of those cents. I want them in my pocket. I want this trade to go down in value. Picture 26 cents on the counter right here, and each day that goes by, I slide some of that into my pocket. Now, if the 26 cents is sitting there and all of a sudden I'm taking money out of my pocket and the trade's going up in value, that's bad. I want it to go from 26 to 20 to 10 to 0. I want it to technically expire worthless. But if Facebook starts going down for some reason and this credit starts going up, not such a good day. So I have 2 levels in my trades, folks, here at Top Gun Options. One level is called the adjust level, and it's about 75% of the credit that I took in. So in this case, spitballing it, I'd say I'd look to adjust this trade if it goes up in value. What's that? It's 52, probably around 45 cents. Rough math. If I get filled, I'll show you what the real number is. What does the adjust level mean? Well, that's when I scratch my chin and I go, okay, it's up to about 52 cents. I've lost about 75% of the credit that I took in. What's going on with Facebook? And should I adjust this trade? And remember, let me send this, guys. With a bull put spread, let's take a look at the chart. Let's go 20 days. With a bull put spread, right here, I put it on to what, 150, 149, 150. So this trade makes money 3 ways, folks. Facebook could go up and we make money. Facebook could chop around, or Facebook could even go down to right about here, which is our break even. 3 ways this trade makes money. That's why we love being options trader. Okay? So, but let me talk about the adjust level. If this trade goes up in value to what did I say, 45 cents, or whatever it was, that means Facebook is starting to drop a little bit here. Here are the ways we could adjust a bull put spread. And again, folks, you're going to get about an hour and a half of training on how to adjust trades with Doug when you become a member. And I'm not ignoring the what's the link questions. Give me some time, guys, and I will put out the link to all of you at the same time. Okay? Perfect. So the 3 ways, well, actually 4 ways. Let me start out with the most obvious adjustment, to get out. Well, Wiz, I thought you have an eject level past the adjust. Folks, if I'm flying along in this Facebook trade, and all of a sudden one of my engine fire lights come on. In the F-18, I had 2 engines. I'm flying along, fat, dumb, and happy. Engine fire left. Engine fire left. Okay. And there's a little smoke in the cockpit. And my wingman, who's flying formation, now wakes up and goes, hey, dude, you got smoke coming out of your left engine. Well, guess what? That's when I take off or I keep the mask on if there's smoke in the cockpit, obviously, and I go, what? And all of a sudden now engine fire right. If things start steamrolling pretty quickly and Facebook starts going down fast, don't sit there and go, well, is that your adjust level might become, now Wiz, you're really on fire. Okay, dude, I'm out. So your adjust and eject sometimes, depending on the velocity of Facebook's move down, might turn into your eject level. So that might be your first way to adjust this trade is to what? Get out of it. What did I say? Give the jet back to the taxpayers. That's what we might have to do ultimately. Here's the other ways we could do it. So the bull put spread is what? I told you. It's me saying, hey, Apple, my God, Facebook, I don't think you're going to be below 149 by expiration. So you know what, Wiz? I still believe it's not doing a super dead cat bounce, but it did pull back a little bit. I think it might need more time to work. You know what I could do with this bull put spread? I could roll it out. It's called a roll, folks. Instead of using the June 30 expiration, what's after June 30th? Oh my God, we're already in July. July 7th. Maybe I roll the trade from Friday the 30th to the 7th. And again, folks, don't have a massive amount of time to give you all the roll tactics and techniques. That's why you become a member. I'm not going to give away all the soy sauce here. So we could roll it out. Okay. What if you think, you know what, Wiz, it isn't a dead cat bounce. It's pulling back a little bit, but I think we might need a little bit more cushion. We could roll the trade down, but for the same expiration. Maybe we roll it down to the 148, 147 bull put spread. We just give it a little bit more cushion to the downside. That is called rolling it down. Now, for all you rocket surgeons out there, you've probably already gotten to the 4th way we could adjust a trade. We could roll it down. You know what, Wiz? We need another dollar of padding. I still think it's a bullish bounce here. It's giving us a head fake back. Why don't we roll it down and out to the July 7th expiration? Now, I talked to you just now about the 4 ways we could adjust a trade. Get out of it. That is an adjustment, folks. Roll it out, roll it down and out. Now, I briefed you during the brief of what we could do if this trade goes against us. There's no way in hell I'd rule the universe if I could tell you, well, I know Facebook's going to go down on this date, and I'm going to tell you that I am going to roll it down and out at that point. My call sign wouldn't be Wiz, folks. It would be Nostradamus. That ain't me. I'm not that good. So I'm briefing you on the roll tactics in the brief, so when it happens and I update it, you know, like, okay, it's moving against Wiz, and he's looking to do one of the 4 that he briefed me on. I have to take a look at what's going on in the future when it happens. So here's what happens. Here's why we plan, folks. Here's why this is called a brief, the accelerated retirement brief. Briefing allows us to project our thoughts forward in space and time, so we can influence events instead of reacting to them when it happens. So instead of freaking the hell out, oh my God, Facebook's pulling back, what do I do? Which is what you get at other services. I already told you one of the 4 things we're going to do, but we have to evaluate what we're going to do when it do. Everybody give me a vertical head nod that you understand that. So it's the same thing flying the Hornet, folks. I will say, hey guys, one of these 4 things is going to happen in the target area. I'm going to brief you on all 4 possibilities. And then airborne, if it happens, I'm going to go, that's the one we're doing. And all you have to say over the radio is, Roger? You don't have to go, hey, can you brief me on it? What? I told you over the radio in air-to-air combat or on combat missions, it's extremely quiet. Why? Because we briefed it. This is why we are head and shoulders above any other financial training. I already told you, you want education, go to Berkeley, the birthplace of free speech and also the death of it. So I'm briefing you on what you can do if this trade moves against us. We good? Bet Lars, love it. Awesome. Good vertical head nod, okay? Double head bobbing, Tim, awesome. So where are we on this trade? Give me 1 second, guys. This is my hedge fund call. That's my buddy. I said, do not call me during my webinar. All right, so here's what we're going to do. Oh, that's why. How the hell did they not? The hell is this? Okay, so any other questions on the potential adjustment things? Okay, I didn't make to found any link to record. Lucas, the replay page is right here, guys. Okay. Any other questions, concerns? Oh, by the way, it's on the Facebook bull put spread. I really like this trade. Yes, guys, yes, all right. Let me give you the full throttle brief so people can get their memberships. And if we have time, let me get my VXX trade on. Okay. If we don't do it, I'll try and do it on Friday in the debrief. But let's get these slots open here. Okay. So this is the great part about full throttle because I'm going to fire a gun right into the air here, and we're going to go and everybody's going to level it off. Kevin, no questions, just chilling and waiting to get filled at 25 cents. Looks good. That's exactly right, guys. Throw the lure over the side of the boat and then just let the bait sit there. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to give you a brief on the full throttle, and then we're going to let the slots open, man. I'll take questions. Give me about 5 minutes to brief you on this. I hate this part of it. You guys know me. I'm not a marketer. I'm a trader. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a fighter pilot. I'm a business. This ain't my skill set, but I'm very passionate about what I do, so hopefully that came across. So here we go. As of me putting the slide up, the 50 slots are officially open. Okay? So here we go. Only 50. Why 50, folks? Because, and we only do these full throttles when we kind of have some atrophy or people go, Wiz, I'm heading out to the fleet. Thanks for the training. I can't have a zoo. I've ignored about 50% of the questions in the chat box because there are literally, there's nearly 7,000 people registered for these things. We keep our live trade briefs. We keep a nice tight-knit squadron, and we don't I can't have a zoo. You'll see Doug and I. If Doug could talk all day, he would. I actually have to get in there sometimes and get the hook and tell him to shut up. But we don't want to leave any live trade brief with anybody with a question mark or a clue bird on their shoulder just flapping away. You will get all of your stuff answered, but if it's a zoo, we can't. So no offense to all the people asking great questions. That's why you got to join, and that's why we keep it nice and tight and only 50. Okay? So here's what we're going to do. You guys have seen our performance. I told you why 2016 was our best year on record. We're actually doing better year to date than I was at this time last year. Now, I don't know if there's going to be an election type event towards the end of the year to really power it, but we had an absolute blast. Urgent alert, weekly options. We'll talk weekly options on Friday. I showed you in one day this week how many of my members made $1,300. Isn't that awesome? So, yeah, I'll answer about the Fed and why financials are weak a little bit right now. What did I say yesterday about the Fed meeting? Let me answer that question. That's a good one. Because some of you said, Wiz, why are you selling some front month calls in front of the Fed meeting? What did I say could possibly happen? I said what? That's exactly right. It could be a sell on the news. It's exactly what I said. But let me get the link out here, guys, so you can sign up. Joined a month ago. Increasing number of contracts. I traded. I was able to pay for the annual membership after my first trade. Harry, I think you're in here. Harry, after his first trade, paid for his annual membership. In 2 days this week, folks, I paid for one of the annual memberships. It's called a defensive membership. John, He's in here. Great instructors, high level of knowledge, very patient with new people, and willing to answer all questions. Fish, I think Fish, you're in here as well. I'll let you read the stuff, guys. I'm not a big testimonial. My marketing team put all these in here. Arnie's up 75% in the past 3 months. Wiz, thanks for the 36 grand. Ron, Wiz, thanks for the 36 grand so far this year. Again, I'm not going to sit here and read all these guys. Hopefully, I don't need to show you any testimonials because you've seen everything I've done so far to date. If you like me, you're going to love Doug. 2 different styles of trading, folks. He and I both want to kill MiGs, right? We want to shoot down a MiG, but we're both going to fly and fight the jet a little bit differently, okay? So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to introduce to you now the newest full throttle program out there. It's called a track. There's 3 ways or 3 tracks, one of 3 tracks you could subscribe to starting right now. And here's going to be the here's how it works. If you're an aggressive type of trader, you want to stick your fangs out and go after the market, we have a track for you. If you're a little bit more conservative, you know what, man, a little bit more slow and steady wins the race, want to be a little bit more conservative, things are a little nuts, we have the track for you. And obviously 1 + 1 = max afterburner. If you want a little bit of both, a little bit of offensive and defensive, it's called maximum afterburner. So here we go. Here's the portfolios just as a reminder that I manage. Every Monday we do weekly options. It made $1,300 in a day. We did the PLTB yesterday at 10 a.m. Goldman Sachs and Apple trade. And the Apple trade was up $500 at the close yesterday. We're doing AR right now every Wednesday at 1. And if you're a skier, you recognize those symbols right there, right? And then finally, I do an urgent alert. It's not a live brief. It's just a video and a text and an email. And I do that whenever I see a trade, and that's usually Thursday. Here's Doug's portfolios. And you're going to meet Doug tonight at 8 o'clock. He does the advanced live trade brief tomorrow at 9, and he sends out an advanced trade alert as well on Thursday. He also manages a program called Wingman Group Coaching. Don't worry about that. Once you're on board as a member, I'll brief you on the Wingman Group Coaching program. Patrick, no, you don't. That's our job. Patrick says you have to monitor the market all day. That's what I do. While you guys are at work, and remember, guys, I said 80% of our members work. They watch the replays. I told you I can run Top Gun options from my phone right here. I send out text alerts, email alerts. I have my Options House platform on here. It's awesome. Okay. So yeah, Patrick, we have traders in Hong Kong, 2 or 3 of them. We have people down in Australia, Patrick, that are up at 1 or 2 in the morning. But most of them, they watch the replays, and every once in a while, they stay up late or get up early, depending on it. So yes, understood. Now it's time for you to choose which track that you want. So let me brief this. If you want to do the offensive track, a little bit of fangs out, you'll get everything that we do here at Top Gun Options, but instead of doing accelerated retirement, you get the weekly options trade brief. Okay, that's called the offensive track. So you ready? Here is the link. Go, or actually, let me just pull up the page and I'll put it in the chat box. But don't go there yet. I mean, if you want to grab your slot before other people do, you can. But let me at least brief you. Get FT. It's Get Full Throttle. Get FT, right? Get FT. So here's the link. And it redirects to FT-now. I mean, either one of those links. So let me put this up here. It's nearly 4 a.m. in the morning. Graham's in here. Graham's one of our Aussies. Aussie, or no, that's, so let me put the chat box. So you ready? Wait, there's the replay link, but let me put this up here. So there's the link, but let me brief you on this, guys. So that's the offensive track. You get everything, but instead of accelerated retirement, you go with the weekly options. So this is you. This is you and your F-18 Hornet gunning that F-22 Air Force guy. Why? Because the Air Force is barely on our side. But that's the business end of an F-18 pointing at an Air Force guy. That's you. You're in the offensive track. Now, the defensive track is everything I just covered, the full throttle training, PLTB, urgent alert. But instead of weekly options, you do AR. You do accelerated retirement. Okay, so it makes sense, doesn't it? I got it. Offensive, everything they do, but I do weekly options too. Defensive, everything, but I don't do weekly options. I substitute in AR, right? So you're a little bit more conservative-ish track. So that's what you are. You're the E2 Hawkeye with that radar dome on the top, and you're looking downrange, man. Go.topgunoptions.com/getft, get full throttle. Okay, now I said 1 + 1 = max afterburner. What if you want both? Wiz, I want to trade weekly options and I want accelerated retirement along with everything you do. Well, duh, that's what we call the max afterburner track. Okay, you get everything we do. Actually, you get everything we do. I'll save my breath. So you get accelerated retirement, weekly options, and all the other portfolios that you saw so far and you will see. I'd say, I don't have my notes. Anecdotally, I'd say about 85% of folks do the max afterburner track. Okay, it makes sense. They want to trade weekly options, they want to be a little bit conservative, and they want all the stuff in the middle. But some people start with the defensive track, and then yes, the answer is yes. I just saw it fly in my chat box. You can upgrade in between tracks. Okay, but this is you in your F14D Tomcat at max afterburner doing everything we do here at Top Gun Options. Okay, and again, nearly 80% of our traders work or they live overseas. You don't have to attend live. I'd say 80% of you are listening to a replay of my voice, either on the member page or the Full Throttle replay page. Everything's recorded. The trades are either emailed or texted out, depending on what we end up deciding there. You can watch them at your leisure. With our live event down in Miami last weekend, a bunch of members said, you know what, Wiz, I watch the replays 2, 3, 4 times. I know I try not to speak fast, but sometimes when people watch the replays a couple times, they can pause, they can take notes, they can think about what I just said. So watch the replays as many times as you want, okay? So it's a great, great deal. Shahari, yes, there is. I'll tell you how to contact support at the end to talk about that. And obviously, we also send out adjustments throughout the week as necessary. For example, I sent out an adjustment a little while ago with the Apple Iron Condor on an ExxonMobil trade. I gave you an update that said, hey, ExxonMobil looked like it was going to be a big loser. I said, I'm not getting out of it. Oil's going to slide. We have an inventory report. What happened this morning? Inventory report and oil slid. And that ExxonMobil Iron Condor went down from being down $2,000 to being only down a couple $100 right now. And I'm holding it till Friday. So we send out updates as well. Okay? I'm so geeked. Been a subscriber for almost 3 years now, and this is my first time I've been able to attend live. I only know you via the replays. Okay? So, and you know, here's the training sessions. Don't worry about it. In about 2 weeks from now, we'll do 2 sessions a night on most likely a Tuesday or Thursday or whatever Doug comes up with. And here's the training, folks. You're going to get everything from trading tools and methodology, the Greeks, calendars, condors, implied vol, exits, adjustments. So you're going to get trained, folks. Demo, do, right? Demonstrate and do. Go.topgunoptions.com/getft. Okay. Hans, what did I just say, man? Everything's recorded. So is the PLTV recorded? Do me a favor and answer your own question. It's on the member page, Hans. And now to make you an offer you can't refuse, right? On this, the day of my daughter's wedding. You get all your manuals as well, folks. You get the primary, intermediate, and advanced workbooks. Those are yours to keep forever. You can download them. These are your flight manuals, folks. I recommend once you sign up, start reading those things and start getting smart, okay? And obviously, I think you guys already got the OPCL, the Options Pocket Checklist, as part of your deciding to join us for Full Throttle, okay? So let's get airborne, guys. I'll take you over to that page and show you what it's, Harry, people open your ears and use them. Listen, thank you. I know, Harry, sometimes I don't want to be rude and ignore sometimes the master of the obvious questions, but and again, Harry, we just proved why we only take 50 people and we don't like a zoo, right? We can't have too many people in here. There is no catch, folks. It's an annual membership. I told one of you. Here's how you can contact John. John, you didn't miss something, or you didn't hear me. I said, John, most likely the training is going to start in 2 weeks. It's up to Doug. I have some options weapons school classes I need to start teaching, so Doug and I have to deconflict. So that's why I said the training is going to start in a couple weeks, okay? I have some training to do before he does. No exceptions, ladies and gentlemen, and as many of my current members can attest to, once we hit 50, we're done. We don't do the whole, hey, try it. Wait until like Saturday or next Monday and we're done. We're not going to let you on board. And my current members know I actually throw customers out sometimes. Sometimes the customer isn't always right. So once we hit 50, because of the live training component, we're a tight-knit squadron. We provide each other mutual support. For example, in our interactive Ready Room, which is our forum where we can talk to each other, talk about trades, red team each other's trades, help each other out. We drive each other for performance and self-improvement, okay, to try and help each other achieve our financial mission objectives, okay? So I forget how to pronounce your name. It was a bunch of questions ago. You can shoot an email to support@topgunoptions.com, okay, with that question, and our support team will help you. Or you can call 754-300-1084. Okay. Yeah, that was expected. 25 bips. Yeah, market's fine. Who wrote 1%? Frank? Breaking, FOMC votes to raise Fed funds to between 1% and 1.2. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're fine. Yeah, Shahari, sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. Absolutely. They'll hook you up. So 754-300-1084 or email support@topgunoptions.com. All right, guys, let me go back to the page here and explain it. This is where you need to be right now. And my phone's buzzing, which means guys are already grabbing their slots. There you go. Awesome. About 3 max afterburner slots just went. There you go, Andrew. That's exactly right. So here's the defensive track, guys, right here. You get everything that I talked about, and instead of weekly options, you get AR. You get the accelerated retirement. It's usually about $5,000, folks. We're at $19.95 for a year. These are annual memberships. If I don't brief that, every full throttle launch, somebody goes, are these monthly? And I'm like, holy crap, we must be way under market value if people think these are monthly. That's an annual membership. And with 2 trades this week, folks, the Apple $1,300 bull put spread, and Apple was at $500 by the close yesterday. That was $1,800. With 2 trades in 2 days, I could have nearly paid for the defensive track annual membership, guys. You saw it. This isn't me pulling this out of my ear. Now, the offensive track is everything defensive, except you get what? Instead of AR, retirement, defensive, you get offensive. You get weekly options. And for all you rocket surgeons out there, you know the best deal is obviously the max afterburner. Okay, it's usually about $9,000. And I keep my marketing, whatever. I will tell you now, if you join at these rates, you're locked in. We have people paying an annual max afterburner from about 4 years ago of $9.95. Yeah, you wish you would have been here then. They go up in price, folks, but I honor what you started at. We don't jack up the prices on you, okay? We're not Comcast. Hey, here's news of a rate increase. It ain't all about the money for me, trust me. I ain't the United Way of Whiz, but I'm if I didn't have TGO, I'd be doing this anyway. So you're locked in at your current rate once you grab one of your slots here. Defensive, offensive, or max, okay? You can hunt around on the page here. The tracks are written out here with what you get, so it's all written down if you didn't just listen to me and you were clubbing in the Bahamas. And then here's the training schedule. Like I said, I haven't picked it. I don't pick the date. Doug does. It's usually in a couple weeks, guys. He and I do a lot of work for Full Throttle Week because it's a lot of mental work dealing with 90,000 people who aren't members, okay? So Doug will come up with the start date in a couple weeks, and here's the entire academic schedule on the page right here. So everything you're going to get with a couple sessions a week, okay? It's usually about 4 weeks straight. You get to watch the replays. You're going to see an example of Doug's training tonight at 8 o'clock, okay? And then any questions, concerns, or oh, by the ways, or smart remarks, shoot an email to support@topgunoptions.com or give us a call, 754-300-1084, okay? Okay, Rebecca, you absolutely welcome aboard. San Diego, California. I was stationed at, where do you live? Are you still in here? I lived out in Tierra Santa. I flew out of Miramar Marine Corps Air Station, unfortunately. Love the Marines. I did a tour with the Marines, and it was awesome. So welcome aboard. There goes a Rick, if you're a current, that's another thing I should put on the value stacking. If you join as a Full Throttle member, every time Doug does another Full Throttle, 3-4 months from now, you get to attend all that for the rest of your time here as a TGO member for free. We charge non-members $495 just for the training. I need to put that on a slide somewhere. Remind me to do that. So that's a great question. If you are a current Full Throttle member or you become one right now, if we do another Full Throttle launch in October, you get $495. You get Doug's training all over again. And there's people who've been here for years who still go to Doug's Full Throttle training because it's always evolving, right? A calendar spread might be a calendar spread, but what's going on in the market in October is going to be completely different than what's going on now, right? Vertical head nod. So Pedro, market moving, already making money in Facebook. Pedro, grab your slot then. You're welcome. Did I get filled on that? Let me go back here real quick. Oh, man, it already dropped 4 cents. You're right. What's 70? You ready? Let's do this, guys. 75 times 4 equals. You're up $300 in this Facebook trade if you got filled at 26 cents. Can I get a hell yeah? Thank you, Wiz. That's what I thought. Man, this guy sounds like he actually knows what he's doing. I do. Who's this? Yihong Kong in Durham, North Carolina. Welcome aboard. That's a Full Throttle max slot. Welcome aboard, guys. So and this is the other reason I'm looking at slots, but my hedge fund buddies are calling me. I'm the chief development officer in a hedge fund too, guys. I can't, you're not allowed to market a hedge fund. I can tell you that's what I also do, but since it's a private placement, you're not allowed to technically market it. So I'm telling you that because they want to talk about the FOMC announcement. I'm like, guys, I'm talking to my potential members. So let me leave the page up here. I'll do the VI. Let's talk about vol on Friday. I'm going to talk about weekly options during the debrief on Friday, and also the weekly options trades, guys. But let me wrap up. Here it is, guys. The slots are airborne. I guarantee, usually between right now and when Doug starts tonight, we usually get rid of about 10 to 15 of them. So they're going to go quick. Okay, Andrew, we can keep a secret. You better, or I know where you guys live and I'll kill you. So go.topgunoptions.com/FT-now. Full Throttle -now, or get FT. All right, get FT. Same link, it just redirects to here, okay? And pick your track, defensive, offensive, or max afterburner. And like I said, I think the 4 slots that just went in the blink of an eye and the support lines ringing, most people do max. But like I said, if you want to start over here in defense or offensive, you will be able to upgrade. You just pay the difference. Okay, you just pay the difference between the two. So guys, let me jump on a conference call. I don't know why they're calling this much. It must be something good. We had a lot of good trades on in the fund. We have a lot of good trades on in our funds, in our portfolio. So, all right, guys, I'll tell you what. I'm going to render this recording. I'll put the recording in an email along with the Facebook trades. I'll get this out to you guys here in a little bit. I'm going to hop on the phone, walk on the beach, stretch my legs, and listen to my hedge fund talk as you guys grab your slot. As I said, these will be gone. Some Full Throttle launches were done by Thursday. I mean, we have all slots filled by Thursday. Some people want to see through Fridays, and we end up getting filled by Friday afternoon. These will all go. It's actually, I think it's 8 p.m. tonight. Okay? So 8 p.m. tonight, and we'll be good to go. You bet, Andrew. Let me pull it up right here, and I can leave that. Where's AR? AR is right here. Okay, and I'll for my current AR members, since we didn't have time to do a full portfolio review, I'll do my adjustments and stuff and put that in the email that I send out to you guys, kind of like I did in the PLTB yesterday. Okay, all right, guys, grab your slots. Phone's buzzing. The slots are going to go 50-50 only. I'll see many of you tonight at, I think it's 8 o'clock. I run the place, you would think I know what's going on. 8 o'clock for Doug Robertson's vertical spread training, okay? And for the rest of you, take a look at the page here, the new member page, to grab your slot, because if you don't grab it by Friday, we're going to be airborne without you. And like I said, men lie, numbers don't. And I showed you 2 trades in 2 days that could have paid for a defensive track in the blink of an eye. And I showed you several members who told you that they paid for their annual membership in one trade, which potentially tells me these might be too cheap. Okay? You bet, Harry. All right, guys, have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge, and I'll see many of you guys tonight with Doug Robertson. God bless.